Empty Epsilon, scenario writing, scan descriptions. Well, we're going to start off by showing how you can set up scan descriptions as a GM. So let's run our scenario. We need a player ship. We'll go to the game master screen and we'll pick a freighter. We're going to tweak it and we'll put in a simple scan description saying that the ship log is present, and then we'll put in a full scan description saying that they visited independent stations. Now you can see that there are a whole bunch of things that you can tweak in the GM screen. Most of those have a corresponding Lua function. Okay, so let's go be the player ship and we will scan that item that we just put those descriptions on to see what happens. So you notice when we click it, there's nothing there in the description. When we do our first scan, we get ship log present, which was the simple scan text that we put in on the GM screen. When we do a deep scan, the second scan, whatever you want to call it, the one that is harder, we should get that other message. And it is buried behind that drop down, and indeed we did get it. So let's go show you what you could do with this as a GM. Essentially, you are providing mission critical information. So the simple scan is going to give you just the fact that the log is present. But the full scan description says that the freighter visited independent stations and Kraylor station in D3. So this essentially lets the player know where the Kraylor station is located in case they didn't see it yet. It is behind the nebula, so they may not know that. So testing, we go out and scan the freighter, and there's the first message, the ship log is present. We do the deep scan. Yeah, for all of you budding science officers out there, this is a worthwhile skill so you can scan things quickly, get the information you need, and send it out. There are some people who don't like this. If we look at the description, look, there we have the information that we want to give the player. Now, that's great on the GM screen. Imagine if you had to do that for all 10 of those freighters. Don't want to do that. So let us automate that. So inside our loop where we create those transports, we're going to add a description for each scan state. Now I think there's another function that lets you do both of them. I like the individual one because you can choose from the 4 states, even though in this case we're only going to use 2, the simple scan and the full scan. Obviously I'm using the script reference to get this information. So we're going to set the description for the scan state simple scan to, like we showed in our GM demonstration, ship log present. And then we're going to put in the full scan information. If I can get my keyboard to work right, we're going to put the full scan in where we say the ship log shows that freighter visited independent stations. Now this is inside the loop, so this is like the default scan information for these freighters. Outside the loop, though, we're going to pick one at random and say this is the black sheep, this is the one that went over and visited the Kraylor station. So we're going to pick one using table select random, a function that we brought in a previous video that essentially picks at random from a list. We're going to say for the black sheep, we're going to do essentially this with some additional information. So we're going to tack on the end that they also visited Kraylor station in sector D3. Yeah, and since we're putting new information that goes to the player, we're going to put some translation information around it. Science description looks good for us. So we will put the underscore function, we will put the context in, and then we have the message. And we'll do that for all 3 of these new messages that we have just added to our scenario. All right, so in the future, someone can translate these and have it in multiple languages. Let's test this and see how it works. Well, okay. Let's make it easy on ourselves. We're going to, in the GM screen, we're going to print the information so that we know which ship is the one that has the special information. So we're going to say, print the black sheep, get the black sheep's call sign so we know what the name is on the freighter, and also tell me what sector they're in using the get sector name function. Now this will come out in a print statement on the console so that we can look at it and easily test. Later you'll want to delete that, but for now we have it in there so that it makes it easy for us to test. So we get the player ship out there. Let's go to the GM screen and just look around. Let's find the freighter that we talked about, which if you looked, you saw that it was BR7. So that's the one that's got the different information. All the others are going to be normal. Let's go be the player and scan the ships and see if it behaves the way we expect. Now we're picking a freighter that should have the standard information in it, where it should be that the ship log is present, and then it says that this freighter just visited Independent Station. So there we have the ship log is present. For our second scan, we will see what that message is as soon as I get done with the scan. Once again, you science officers, this is a good skill to develop. And if we look at the description, we see that the freighter visited Independent Stations. Now let's go to BR7, the one where we put in the additional information that tells the player where the Kraylor base is located. Okay, standard message first that the ship log is present, and then when we complete the second scan, any minute now, we will see that they visited Kraylor Station D3.